Guys doing out there? It's K's Take, where culture, competition, and commentary collide. Happy that you're able to join us from wherever you are, whether if you're in your car, you're in your office, you're at home, you're walking, you're exercising. However, we're allowing you to get through your day, busy or leisurely. We're happy to be a part of it. I'm on. I'm joined here by Young Bull, and we're just here to talk football, other sports as well, but specifically football, on a college, high school, as well as um, NFL and youth level. Uh, we definitely diehard Raven fans. Um, live in the DMV area, so that's what we mainly follow. But not so much Commanders, but definitely Raven fans, definitely. But we follow all high school sports across this country, not just the region, the area, not no all of it. California, Texas, Georgia, Louisiana, Illinois, you name it, Missouri. If they got good football, we're gonna go ahead and speak on it. South Carolina, Georgia, North Carolina, D.C., Virginia, even in Maryland, um, and then even a little bit of youth football as well. But other than that, uh, we're looking at this next week with the Ravens, and oh man, they got the Dolphins. Dolphins just came off of um, their first victory, if I'm not mistaken. Young Bull, can you correct me if I'm wrong? Was that their first victory that they had?
Yep, that's their first. They've had a horrible season.
Wow,
Horrible.
wow, and that's kind of saying a lot coming from. Would you say it's worse than the Ravens?
100%.
Hoo hoo, oof. We only have two victories, so that means that this game is winnable. Do you think it's winnable? Well, Lamar didn't play last game. So that makes sense, like he has to get healed up, and they feel that they can kind of make it without Lamar. But do you think they can win this next game without Lamar?
100%. I honestly don't think that the Dolphins are better than the Bears. I definitely think the Bears are a better and more talented team than the Dolphins. So I think honestly, if we can beat the Bears, we can definitely beat the Dolphins.
I don't know, man, because okay, so I'm looking at the Dolphins here, and I'm looking at okay, they lost to the Colts. Colts have only lost one game, and I need to kind of see if that's fool's gold as well. But they lost to the Patriots, another team unsure of. The Bills, they're legit. They've lost two games, but the Bills are legit. They lost to them 31-21. They beat the Jets. Everyone's doing that, except for just this past week when the Bengals lost. And then they lost to the Panthers, you know, and they lost to the Chargers. Hey, Chargers a good team. They lost them 29-27, but then they lost to the Browns 31-6. I don't know really what happened there. But now we're looking at the Falcons, 34-10. So, uh, I don't know.
It was against Kirk Cousins. They didn't have Michael Penix.
right. Yeah.
And Kirk Cousins hasn't started in maybe a year and a half.
Uh,
Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but year and a half, 2 years.
yeah, he has been a while. He got actually benched. So no, I think you are right. But yeah, just like Young Bull said, go ahead and comment on that. And even if you think your thoughts on the Fool's Gold thing regarding the Colts, do you think they're actually legit as well? I'm not even sure if the Colts are legit, but they keep winning. I mean, they're amassing these wins, and no one's beating them, and I mean, gosh, I mean you talk about you talk about a resurrection of a career. Daniel Jones, he's the starting quarterback. He coming from the Giants, and then Jonathan Taylor's always been amazing, amazing running back. But Daniel Jones is just he's. I mean, I don't really know what to say, but regardless if his stats don't really amaze people to a degree of whether or not he's an MVP candidate. He's like, I'm looking at his stats. He has only thrown 3 interceptions and 10 touchdowns. And he's at 71% completion percentage, 8.4 yards completion. So he's not dinking and dunking. He's getting it out there with a 105.9 rating, quarterback rating. Those are some good numbers. And they got a sheesh. And Jonathan Taylor's being Jonathan Taylor over 5.3 yards a rush on 99.6 yards a game. So I'm running. I know I'm reading off a bunch of numbers. I sound like a statistician. I know you're not here to you can get that yourself. But man, I mean, yeah, Colts are pretty good. But I digress. It wasn't about the Colts. It's all about Miami. Um, Can we beat Miami? When I say we, I'm talking about the Baltimore Ravens. Are we able to deal with them or beat them in Miami? Uh, we've been pretty successful against them over the years, but this is a different team and it's a different situation because we don't have Lamar, we don't have our starting quarterback, and for years we've always had them every time we played them, other than a few times with Joe Flacco. But uh, we've always had their number. So I don't know. Um, if I were John Harbaugh, if it seems as though he can play, I would literally give him strict instructions as to not to run. Go down, no running outside the pocket. I know he's a competitor. That would be it. But to not have Lamar out playing in that game is going to be, ooh, ooh, you're mortgaging your future. I don't know. Um, I put it on Derrick Henry's back. I mean, I'm not sure uh, defensively how Miami is against the rush. Most teams nowadays aren't they don't hit anyway. So that's the one thing. Like, they don't have the backers. They're not like back in the day when I used to watch football when they would just kind of just you had thumpers. And for those guys, for those listening who don't know what a thumper is, that means that's like a Ray Lewis, a Joey Porter, a middle linebacker. Not really much about covering, but it'll rock you to sleep. So um, I'm looking right now, and the Dolphins, they're actually giving up the fourth most rushing yards in the NFL. So yeah, yeah, I'm starting to kind of agree with you, young bull. They might not need to have to put Lamar out there. I mean, you got a team giving up the fourth most rushing yards in the NFL and giving up 5 yards per carry. I mean, Derrick Henry might have a career day against these guys. I mean, they have over 10 rushes with 20 plus yards and over 4 with 40 plus yards. A track meet. Golly. The only team I think is giving up more than that is the Titans with 5. Yeah, I don't know.
I
Talk to
mean,
me. What you got, young bull? I mean, I'm agreeing with you. I mean, with the rushing aspect of it, I don't even know if the passing is even necessary. I mean, if the passing, I mean, they're not even honestly with passing yards. the Dolphins, they're actually somewhat decent. So I'm like, why tempt fate? I don't want to say they're decent, but why tempt fate and even having Lamar out there looking for passing lanes uh, when he could just run down the throat.
I mean, honestly, I, I think we should just run it down their throat or toss to Keaton Mitchell to the outside. Uh, have some blockers out there. Put your big receivers out there like DeAndre Hopkins. Or just get all our tight ends out there. I don't know if Pat Ricard is back. Tell me in the comments if he is, but I'm pretty sure he's back. Put Pat Ricard out there uh, with Derrick Henry and just run it up the middle. And then when we don't run it up the middle, just run it to the outside with Mitchell.
Yeah, and the thing is that the Dolphins. I'm looking at their numbers now. They've only given up. Uh, I mean, they've only had one interception. So I don't know who's in their secondary. They've only had one interception, but they have more sacks than the Ravens. They have 15 sacks on the season. We only have 9. So that means that, I mean, your quarterback's going to stay pretty clean. But again, if you're able just to run the ball, I'm trotting out Tyler Huntley. But again, that's not my livelihood. But that's a livelihood type of decision because once if he guesses wrong, he and his wife are gonna he, his wife, his kids, they're gonna have to uproot, either go to, yeah, I don't know, be advisors for the Chargers with his brother, or go to Michigan and maybe take a job there and have his brother hook him up there if they still trust the Harbaugh name. What's I mean, you tell me. I mean, young bull. I mean, would you risk your family having to move? Would you put it all right? Put it all on the line for Tyler Huntley, undrafted, University of Utah, pride of Utah?
Mm.
That's what he's gonna have to do. If he does what you say, he's letting it ride on Mr. Huntley.
Might have,
Snoop.
might have to
Ooh.
read options.
It's the same offense. It's not like Cooper Rush out there. You got an athletic
Yeah,
quarterback.
you can run it with this quarterback. He's not like the like Rush. You can read options, all of that. Doesn't have arm talent. He has some accuracy, but he could definitely run.
Right. Yeah, and I agree with you. The arm talent is so right now. Honestly, the Ravens need to have tunnel vision in terms of who they're chasing and what they're chasing after. Because so now you're looking at the Steelers, and the Steelers have the Colts, and the Colts go to Pittsburgh to play that game, and I don't think they're gonna win that game. I think the Colts have one loss, and I don't think they're gonna go in there and lose. I think Daniel Jones is gonna. I don't think Daniel Jones. I think the running back is gonna actually give them the work.
Yeah, Jonathan Taylor. I could see that happen. I mean, from what I've seen, Daniel Jones, he's been throwing some passes. I mean, he could throw.
Yeah, I mean, I guess yeah, the Giants are not doing. Yeah, that's not gonna work. But we're going for the rest of the division. Then we're looking at the Bengals and sheesh, Joe Flacco. That's not that's that's not gonna work. And I mean, he's gonna throw the ball, but if you put a little bit of pressure on him, that's when he just turns into like a, oh my gosh, Flacco. I mean, we have experience of what Flacco can do, is able to do, and not able to do, and just the nonsense he has going on with them. Um, Here, that's why we end up drafting uh, a quarterback. So. And then we have the last but not least, the Cleveland Browns. Uh, yeah, I yeah,
Nowhere.
they've got what's his name? The guy from Oregon,
Gabriel.
Gabriel Dillon.
No, Dylan Gabriel.
Dylan Gabriel,
Yep.
two first names. But not to make fun of his family, not to front of their name. I got a funny last name myself. But Dylan Gabriel, nah, he's a smaller quarterback. Doesn't have the arm talent. Not as good as even the second string quarterback. Because they got so much politics going on. Dylan Gabriel is not even better than Shador Sanders. But since the coach, from what it appears and seems, that the coach does not want to give him an attempt or tryout for attempt or any props to put him in there, Bailey Zappi probably will go in. Um, I mean, that team is an absolute train wreck. I mean, they absolute train wreck, and which is sad is that Miles Garrett is being wasted out there. But you know what? I wish he could put on a Ravens uniform, but yeah, them losing to the Patriots. Mm. But one thing is they get a bye week, and then they play the Jets after the bye week. So I expect them to win that. So they'll be 2-6. I expect them to be 3-6 at the end of the day, November 9th. But yeah, Ravens got to just keep their eye on the prize, leapfrog Cincinnati, and then go ahead and catch up to Pittsburgh. And you know what? I've been looking at these teams, and the one team, even though they don't have Joe Burrow, and I'm speaking of Cincinnati Bengals, the Bengals' remainder of the season is pretty wow. If there was Joe Burrow out there, they could be in the same boat the Ravens are in because their last tough team, the tough team on paper, are the Buffalo Bills, and that's December 7th. They play us twice, but they play nobody. I mean, talk to. I mean, young bull, have
I
you
don't
looking?
see anybody.
I don't. Sheesh, this could be a two-horse race because I don't see. I don't see. They play the Bears. They can beat them. They play the which is next week. They play the Steelers. They can beat them. They play the Patriots. They can beat them. They play us. They can beat us. They play the Bills, which is a loss. They play the Ravens again. Um, sheesh. Us splitting with them would be one, and then the Bills that would be two losses. But we're one loss. We're one game behind them. This yeah, the Steelers can drop out, but it could still be between Cincinnati and Baltimore to finish out.
I, mm, that, I think they're the only ones we got to worry about.
Yeah, yeah.
Now, against the Bears, I think they'll win that. Steelers are going to lose that. Patriots loss. Ravens loss. Actually, I don't know. Cause Joe Burrow doesn't return until December, if I'm not mistaken. Please leave it in the comments if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure he returns in December.
Hmm. Well, I think it's going to be real interesting. Really interesting to see how that goes in regards to how the season's going to end. Um, you don't have to give your team away. So young bull, how did y'all make out this week? I know y'all just hit the playoffs, youth football. You don't even have to give the association you're with or anything like that. But how'd y'all make out this week?
We did good. I'm pretty sure. I forgot the score. What was the score?
I think it was listed 37-6, but I thought it was 32-6. But
Yeah, it was around that score. We won the first round of of our playoffs. Uh, but this team coming up, we just haven't been able to get over the hump every time we've been playing them. We lost to them twice. The first time we lost, what was it, 44 to 21,
yes,
22?
44-21.
That was the first time we played them. Now the second time we played them, we lost 15 to 14, and after half, we just gave up the ghost. We were up 14-0 at halftime.
Yeah, that was. Oh man, that was bad. I kind of thought there was some things going on that didn't. I thought the coach should have taken the air out the ball and they should have ran the ball more. But they were stuffing the run, um, and you guys were only making any type of like moving the ball only through the air. But one thing, the team just stayed in man coverage the whole time. They stayed in man coverage and blitzed the linebacker. So uh, that meant that if you went twins, someone was running free. I mean, literally uncovered. And that's how one your tight end had uh, the catches they had
Yeah,
in
I
that
remember.
game. Yeah, and that was because they were running free. You blitzing two linebackers and you have everyone else coming in, and there's only so many players on the field, especially if you're doing man coverage. Especially if the tight end lines up tight and he's not accounted for, and he wasn't. So um, hope they see that and figure that out. But yeah, they ran right down your throats. You guys stopped everything wide, kept everything contained, and they started playing bully ball. So hopefully, you guys have a better outcome this go round when you play them. Um, Y'all deserve it. Y'all have been working hard this year. I'll say that. I don't know of any team that works as hard as you guys. Y'all do more up downs and sprints than any team I've ever seen. So you guys are definitely in shape. I don't think anyone's gonna be able to outrun you guys. Um, yeah, and then that'll lead to after that victory. What happens after that? If you guys win, if you guys win this week, what'll happen?
We are headed to the championship.
Okay, okay. Okay, well, if you get to the championship, I definitely have front row seat. I want to definitely check that out. I definitely want to see that. Definitely want to see. Did you have a good game this last game?
100%.
100%.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. What was good about it? Why do you say you think you had a good game?
I think defensively, I had a real game. I had a rushing touchdown. But I think mostly defensively.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, yeah. Just I'm gonna check it out and be there. See how y'all make out. What you think about what's going on with St. John Bosco out in Cali? They're still running the table. Max Preps has them still as number one, top team in the land. Um, they're 9-0.
I honestly don't have a problem with them until they're beaten. I think they are going to lose, and I think that's going to be to Matter Day.
Ooh, matter day.
They just can't. Pat, past couple of years, they just can't get past Matter Day no matter what. They just can't.
Well, they put. You know what? Well, you gonna find out. You gonna learn today because matter day and St. John Bosco they play on Halloween.
Mm.
Halloween.
And that's when we have practice.
Yeah,
That's
so you just gonna be able to just what? But since they're on the West Coast, you'll be able to see it. I don't know. Hey, leave in listening audience, please leave in the comment section where we can see the St. John Bosco Matter Day game. And please don't give us any
oh
bogus
Max Prep.
sites.
Max Prep. It's gonna be. It's gonna be live. That's gonna be game of the week.
You think Max Preps is gonna have it?
Yeah, game of the week. They always put it live.
So how am I gonna follow that?
It's on YouTube. Max Preps.
Okay, see, there you go.
That's to help Bunk out real
You
quick.
gotta help me out. I'm CBS, ABC, NBC, old school, the big three. If it ain't on them three, maybe ESPN pay for some cable, but not no Prime Video. I don't know what y'all doing. And then we got my beloved St. Francis Academy. Always got to show love for the home team. They 7-1. They're rocking and rolling as they always do. Um, and the math that they seem to be squeaking out these victories lately. They're ranked 15th. Um, they beat St. John's, the #1 team in DC, uh, 23-20. But no, man, we got Grayson. I was telling I was telling Young Bull about Grayson. I said, man, them boys were flying around. I watched them play this past week. And, um, yeah, they look good. Um, St. Francis, they got a tough one coming up themselves, where they have to play St. James Performance Academy, #1 team in VA. What you think about that one?
Saint James, Saint James, Saint James. They are a very talented, good young team. Quarterback Cash Carter, only a junior. Um, I think this year, very good year. They went from the thousands to the hundreds, became #1 in Virginia. But I honestly think that St. Francis is it's not gonna be good.
Now, for good
St.
for who?
Uh, St. James, it's not gonna be good for St.
Now, this is the same team. They played light competition. They played the Hun, I think the Hun school or the Hun.
Yeah,
Um,
the Hun.
yeah, the Hun Academy out of New Jersey. And when they both played them, I watched both games, and it seemed like St. James Performance Academy um, played a better game than like it took St. Francis to the fourth quarter to pull away from the Hun.
You think
When
it was
St.
just a
James
matchup
played them,
issue?
they just blew. Do you think it was a matchup issue?
Yep.
Okay. Well, I'm really curious as to what that matchup is going to be looking like when they play. Like I said, they play coming up, and then after that, St. Francis plays IMG Academy. So, um, but yeah, definitely liking how they came out of nowhere, St. James Academy, um, and just really kind of just blew up. And as Young Bull said, if you guys aren't watching, there's one guy. I don't think he's really high on a lot of people's list right now, but it's Cash Carter. He's a 6'2", 170-pound junior quarterback. Um, Last year he played at Riverdale Baptist. They went undefeated. Um, in Maryland, and so he transferred down to Virginia to St. James Performance Academy, which is similar to schools somewhat like IMG. Um, and yeah, he transferred there. The guy running the program, he's from Hayfield, which has been a powerhouse of Virginia for multiple years. They took a few other people that were from that Riverdale Baptist team that went under. Yeah, they went undefeated last year. And Cash Carter was one of those guys. He was a junior. Sorry, he was a sophomore when he led the team to an undefeated season in Maryland, which was saying a lot, especially with the competition that they play. Uh, so, um, Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. I think next year is gonna be the year they're gonna really make a lot of noise. Um, but this year, I think is gonna they. I'm gonna have to agree with Young Bull. I don't know. They're gonna. It's gonna get ugly, but I think the game is gonna be somewhat close. But I think um, St. Francis has too much going on, too much size, um, a lot of pride. Um, they're playing at home. Um, where's that game gonna be played at? Do you know?
Uh, Maryland Stadium, hopefully.
Mm. Well, if they do, I might have to go ahead. Depend, cause I don't know that. I'm trying to think. The Maryland Stadium. Yeah, I might need. So it'll really depend. And now Max Preps, I'm looking at it now, has them ranked third in Virginia and 460th nationally. Um, yeah, I would be surprised to see um, where they're going to be playing the game. And this is on a this schedule for against the St. Francis team. That's on the first. I don't think that's the same day as your game. Is it, Young Bull?
It is. It is.
It is.
It is.
Woo. Okay, so this St. Francis game is at 7 p.m. So
And where at Maryland
uh,
Stadium?
it's in Maryland, but it just doesn't say where.
Yeah.
That would be a good game to go to, but want to see what happens with your situation. But so yes, we talked a little bit about youth, um, youth ball. We talked about a little bit of high school, and I don't know. I mean, definitely talked a lot about the pros. Um, St. John Bosco, yeah, that's and right. And that game is yeah. So yeah, so that's a against Matter Day. That's a yeah, and Matter Day is ranked 12th with two losses, which is still amazing to me. I don't know how you got two losses and ranked 12th in the country, but I guess they feel that. And she's Santa Margarita, they have three losses, but every loss isn't the same, and the competition that they supposedly play in, and that's just me playing devil's advocate. That's what they always say. That means a lot more than anything, and that this league that they're playing in California is just so powerful. Where um, I'm looking at Santa Margaret, they're 11th in the country with three losses. I got to look at who they lost to. Mission Viejo, please leave in the comment section about these teams I'm mentioning that they lost to and whether or not, hey, they're like that. Like, okay, them losing to them, it makes sense. They lost to Bishop Gorman, got it. They lost to St. John Bosco, number one team, got it. The Mission Viejo one is like, okay, like you know, I've heard of the team. They have a reputation. They're 29th in the country, seventh in the state of California. But I mean, who have they beaten um, to get this record? I'm not sure. I mean,
I don't think. I mean, California just has a reputation. I mean, I think that's one of the reasons why. I mean, California is just such a big place. I think they should just, I don't know, split it. Like,
well, you can't split it. I mean, it is kind of split in terms of championships.
I mean, but it's so big, you can just recruit from so many people.
Yeah,
Whereas
that's true.
California, I mean, it's humongous.
Yeah, the size of California is like about six states on the East Coast. And if six states on the East Coast just started having their own separate teams and, combining them, to
That's
be.
like
That would
Baltimore area, VA. I mean, and a couple more.
that would really be like that would really, if you want to do it, that would be like Delaware, Maryland, Virginia,
Philadelphia.
Philly, North Carolina. Yeah,
Yeah, I mean,
yeah. I mean, you're looking at like, and that's just yeah, yeah, and that and really, you can even go even further and go down to South Carolina. Because it's the whole coast. Like California is like almost the whole West Coast except for like about two, three states. Whew. The team they lost to, please leave in the comment
McCall.
section. McCallie. I have no idea who these guys. They're from Tennessee, and they ran roughshod. I ain't gonna say ran roughshod, but they're 28th in the country. McCallie from Tennessee, from Chattanooga, Tennessee. They're 2-2 in their district. I mean, it looks like they play in a pretty competitive one as well. But um, yeah, they beat Mission Viejo, whatever Viejo, um, Cali team, and Cali team came out to Tennessee as well and got beat. So I'm not really sure what's going on. I understand that Cali gets a lot of they're given a lot of respect, the same as they do in the Maryland area with the DC League. DC League, for all you guys who don't really know, but a lot of those schools in the DC, the Christian, it's called the WCAC. But a lot of their private schools, like DeMatha, St. John's, Gonzaga, a lot of those guys, they go pro. A lot of Power Five colleges, um, institutions. But a lot of those players, that a lot of like a lot of people might not realize, unlike Maryland, or at least for what I'm aware of in Maryland, they play middle school football. Most of Maryland is either rec or travel. Um, they're not running the same system across the board, so those kids are coming in a couple of steps ahead of the Maryland guys. I'm not sure what they do in Virginia, but in DC they play. The schools themselves have middle school football. I could just imagine. Well, I mean, what would that be like, Young Bull, if you had middle school football and your
That
school had middle school football?
that'd be amazing. That'd be amazing. I'd shoot. Our team will probably win the count.
Okay. Yeah, and yeah, DC they have and you could tell they're pretty competitive. They know how to form tackle. They're they're head and shoulders above many of the Maryland players. Not all of them, but many of them. Um, there's only a handful of schools and a handful of high schools in DC because of the size of it. But yeah, they play a very competitive brand of football, and those boys in Virginia they play a good brand as well. Honestly, from what I saw, I would put a lot of those DC and we have I know a guy whose son who's up here from Virginia, and they came from Newport News area, and they play real competitive football. And right in the area where Michael Vick came from, and Ronald Curry, two sport superstar, Allen Iverson, and he was a great football player, as well as a basketball player. But in that area, they had some real talented individuals playing ball. But he told me, and they still do still do at this present day. But he told me when they came up to came up to DC to play a few 7-on-7 tournaments and even the football travel. He said DC definitely had some really good football teams, football players, highly skilled, very athletic. So yeah, like Vernon Davis, Aurelius Ben. These are kind of older names back in the day. I don't know who's coming out of DC as of late, but those guys, Vernon Davis, his brother, Aurelius Ben, um, two of the guys, Vernon Davis's brother, the one who took his shirt off in the middle of a game and quit. and it really has been. They both went to Illinois, um, but both of them from the D, both of them from DC. Vernon Davis, he went to University of Maryland. Um, but yeah, it's a rich, and again, leave in the comment section some really good or some former football stars that came out the DC area. It's very small, very small in terms of size of city, but it's rich, very rich history in sports, athletics, football as well as basketball. It's known for basketball. Football not known as much because everyone talks about Florida and Texas and Cali and Georgia. Of course, can't leave them out, and Louisiana and Mississippi. Those are some hotbeds, and even Hawaii, um, the Samoans. But I don't know. I don't want to go ahead. I know that we talked like we talked about a few. I mean, have you heard anything about any areas of football, any areas of the country that are like really? Oh, Illinois as well. I'm not even going to act as though not sorry, not Illinois, Michigan. I'm pretty sure they got some good football in Illinois, but Michigan high school football, they got some ballers there as well. Well, I mean, what anything that you want to add or talk about in regards to football? Or you want to save it to our next episode, our next tape?
Honestly, until our next tape, I think we discussed a lot. I think we uh, had a very good discussion. Um, just want to know your guys' thoughts in the comments. Anything we said wrong, if you can, just correct us. Um, yeah, I think it was a good podcast or a good talk. Um, yeah,
Well, as always, as K's take, where um, culture competition and commentary collide. Please hit the like, subscribe, or the like, subscribe, and comment buttons. Um, but uh, but I would definitely like for you to subscribe to what we're doing. Just having just a casual conversation. Appreciate you having us there with you while you're exercising, while you're at home, while you're cleaning, while you're in traffic, while you're doing whatever. We appreciate you taking the time just to listen to us, just kind of talk. But without saying anything more, we're going to save future conversation for next case take. It's here, me, Unc, with Young Bull. We're gonna talk about. I got something to talk. Hey, Young Bull.
yep.
So, what is that called when somebody decides to stay in a grade longer than they supposed to?
League class.
Reclass. Oh man, I want to talk about reclass next time. So that's going to be us getting into some of the youngsters in the sport. But then also, we're going to still talk about the Ravens. We're going to still talk about the NFL. I want to talk about reclassing because I'm hearing a lot about this reclass a junior to go straight to college, or reclass as an eighth grader to stay in eighth grade so that you can be bigger going into high school. Now, I've been hearing this stuff, and I want to kind of get your thoughts on this, young bull. And I definitely want to hear some comments about this when we talk about it next time. You can even leave some comments now about it and tell us what your thoughts are. Okay, but thank you again for joining us, young bull. I mean, I know you're gonna that's something in your lane. That's what you young folks are doing now, y'all failing to play longer. Back in the day, if you fail, they just like, what's going on, you big dummy? But now, or if you skip, they're like, wow, this guy's a genius. But it sounds like, there's a bigger plan, there's something bigger things at play that I'm learning about as we going on. And you probably have heard other things like get close to the NIL or get closer to that NFL contract down the line when you're younger as opposed to waiting till you're 26. You're trying to get it at 24. But yeah, we can talk about that next time. But oh, you gonna say young bull? I'm sorry.
Oh no, all I said was yeah.
Okay, okay. All right. Well, I'm not gonna ramble anymore. Thank you again for getting with us here. K's take. Um, like, comment, subscribe. Please hit that subscribe button as well as that like button. We appreciate it. We want to know how we're doing. If we're not doing well, you can always subscribe and you can always like it, or you can always go ahead and give us a comment and let us know so we can go ahead and try to clean things up and make it better for your listening pleasure. Thanks again. Until next time.